back to the class, everyone. Today we're back for another strategy video. We're going to be going a little bit outside of the normal GAC things, but the topic of today's video is 5 ways to waste your Omicrons. And this has been something that we've been seeing as time has accumulated. We're now about 2 or 3 seasons into having GAC Omicrons, and while a lot of them are good, there's a lot of wrong ways to use them. So hopefully this will be a good test whether or not you either have the right Omicrons for GAC and if you're using them correctly. And if you are, then maybe let's have a good laugh with some of these. So let's move on to the first one. So the first way to waste your GAC Omicrons is ignore Starkiller's very specific requests. So these 2 screenshots that I'm showing here, I didn't make these for this video. These are actual teams that we found in the wild. So Starkiller is an amazing character and a character that certainly deserves Omicrons. That being said, he has a very, very specific request to get this to work. He needs, at the start of the battle, if there are no Galactic Legends allies, has exactly 1 Jedi, 1 light side on the line Force user, 1 Sith, and 1 other dark side on the line Force user. He gets all of these bonuses, and we're not even at the last one, but he gets all of these bonuses. So if you go in there and you don't give him exactly what he wants, he drops drastically in viability. Like, he's not even close to the same character he is without all of those things. So again, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to be this person that, puts in all dark side. Like, that's a huge issue right there. You don't want to go in there and put in 3 light side characters. You see, we have the repeated Lasufu, we have Barris, and we have Besis. Like, these Omicrons on him are just completely wasted. Like, there's no point in having those on if you're going to be putting them in a team that they're not even going to be able to use it. So, first one, make sure when you're building your Starkiller team, and you can build a lot of good Starkiller teams. We're not going to sit here and say that the EP Mar is the only choice. While that is probably the best choice and a good choice, we've seen a lot of other really good theory crafts with Starkiller that have used Crew and Lobster or Dooku to some extent, or maybe even Vader or Xylo. Like, there's a lot of different combinations, but you gotta make sure you have at least one of those characters each: a Jedi, a Sith, a Lasufu, and a Dusufu. I know that sounds really simple, but people who are unlocking them are not getting it, and it's ultimately they're not doing very well with it. So that is number 1. Ignore Starkiller's very specific requests if you want to waste your GAC Omicrons. Next one. If you want to waste your GAC Omicrons, ruin Jedi Knight Anakin's temper. So these are battle statistics taken from last GAC, and you can see, at least in this exact counter, so I believe Bad Batch was countering both these teams, but a lot of you already can tell what is wrong with this team. Both of them have a character that is not Galactic Republic and Jedi at the same time, and that is Ezra. And I've seen other forms of this too. It's not just Ezra. I've seen Kanan mixed in there. I've seen Jolie mixed in there. I've seen Jedi Knight Revan mixed in there. I've seen Juhani mixed in there. I've seen a lot of people building these Qui-Gon Jinn squads where really the linchpin to the Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron is Jedi Knight Anakin. Like, Jedi Knight Anakin is the one that makes the difference, because when he gets ticked off and he goes to use his AoE, and he wipes your whole team, you just can't recover from it at all. So the really, really big issue with that is, and actually I think I don't quite have this lined up correctly here, but the big issue with that is, there's actually 2 issues, and one is a little bit more important than the other here. But that is the fact that, number 1, Qui-Gon is Galactic Republic and Jedi, but that being said, Jedi Knight Anakin, who we mentioned earlier, is the linchpin for this team. He has a very specific requirement for when he gets ticked off on his unique here. If all allies were Galactic Republic, and all allies already have to be Jedi because Qui-Gon Jinn is there, so you have to meet both those criteria. So if you're putting in characters like Ezra, you are losing this 100% damage modifier. That's a damage modifier, which means that's not just simply 100% more offense, where he's already getting 400 or whatever it is from Qui-Gon Jinn. This is literally, you're cutting his damage in half for when he's getting ticked off. Like, you need to have all Galactic Republic there. Furthermore, and this isn't as big of a deal because not a lot of people can afford him, but when you saw that 80 people last season, they were using Cam and Ezra together, they're throwing away this entire unique. And while Cam is like okay without his unique, you really don't want to throw this away. 30 speed to every character, 40% max health, 20% offense. And, you know, the healers, they also get to deal a portion of their max health as offense. So this is hugely important. They all have to be Galactic Republic Jedi. So the second you put in Ezra, the second you put in Jolee, the second you put in Kanan, all of that goes away. So again, if you want to ruin or waste your Omicrons, that's something you can do. You can throw in a character that isn't Galactic Republic to go with them. Even, and I'll push this even farther. Even if the character that you have to add is junk, like Jedi Knight Guardian Gear 7 is going to get you farther than a Jolee will, or an Ezra, for example, because those bonuses are very crucial. And also, it's kind of nice to see Jedi Knight Anakin get ticked off when a little character gets hit by an AoE. So there is that. So that is number 2. So far, we have, again, number 1, give Starkiller what he wants, don't ignore his requests, and don't ruin Jedi Knight Anakin's temper there. So that's number 2. Number 3, leave Zam slow. Again, if you want to waste your Omicrons, leave Zam slow. So Zam's Omicron is amazing. It gives a whole lot of a speed to your entire team. However, that being said, if you don't also mod her or the rest of the team, it doesn't make a difference at all. Because that's the big, there are some other stats in there too, but really what you're aiming for is the speed. So you can see here, and this is a battle of ours where we were able to take Imperial Troopers against Bosk, because this, I don't have the speed here to show it, but the Zam was only 250 speed and the Bosk was 270, which meant even with a significant speed boost she was giving, it wasn't enough. Like, this easily, if Bosk was 300 speed and she was 330 speed, this could be easily a 280 speed squad, which my Piet, even with Veers and having 355 speed, was not going to outbeat. So this is something that I can't stress enough. And maybe don't even use this team on defense. Like, I really prefer it on offense. But if you're going to invest in the Zam Omicron, don't just leave its speeds lacking, because you will get someone will come in with a counter, and like, there are even easier counters to this, like JTR with BB-8 and R2. They can generate enough turn meter to push them over at least this Zam's speed, and then you literally just wasted an Omicron because your opponent was going to use JTR to beat your Bosk anyways. So definitely, if you're going to go for Zam, she can beat a ton of targets. She's a really, really good Omicron, but you have to have the mods to back it up. And that's a little bit different from the previous 2 characters. Like Qui-Gon Jinn, you can kind of give him whatever you want. But Zam is very, very important. So number 4, if you want to waste your Omicrons, mod Wampa for damage. So you can see here that Wampa, we have Wampa modded for crit damage and potency. This is just a complete waste. In our experience using Wampa, we do not have him modded for any damage. He has no primaries, no sets. He might have a little secondaries there just by accident, honestly, but he just doesn't need it. We've been using Wampa. We've been able to kill R8Cs with Wampa without consistently landing healing immunity and without getting damage from his mods. And just recently in our last match, we beat an R8 Stormtrooper with full protection primaries in a minute. The way that Wampa's kit works is he's able to build up so much offense so quickly through his unique, and how the Omicron, it decreases the cooldown of this move to the point where he has, not that one, where he is constantly getting 40% offense stacking until the end of the encounter. Eventually this gets so large, there's nothing that can stop him. So if you're going in and you're mining for crit damage or offense or crit damage triangle, it's just a wasted stat. Like, your Wampa might still win. Wampa's still pretty darn good, even poorly modded. But you really, really want to aim for survivability on this character. Tenacity, defense, health, speed is okay too. That is definitely doable. But don't, again, if you want to throw away, you want to waste your Omicrons, mod Wampa for offense. So last but not least is going to be Iden here. And this one isn't exactly wasting an Omicron, but it is about a lot of people who I've talked to who don't realize how they're wasting their Omicrons in other ways because of how good Iden is, even if A, her gear is junk, or B, her team's gear is junk. This is something we've been doing. I think we've done this at least 10 times now, where we have taken in our gear 11 Iden and our gear 12 troopers. And I've seen people use this with lower. I've seen people use this team with around gear 8s, gear 10s, beating relic Mon Mothmas. Like, you can see, this is an R7 Kyle Katarn. This battle only went on for about 2 minutes. And there are other teams that they can beat as well that we beat, but like, this is really the best showcase that you can waste your Omicrons and, another character that's not as good by ignoring your low gear Iden. Like, low gear Iden works just fine if you're willing to give her the Omicron and you're willing to give her the team 1. There's even a little flexibility on the team. Like, you can swap, like we show Shore here. It can be Storm. That's not a big deal. We show Snowtrooper here. It can be range. You can throw out Magma for Stark. Like, she becomes very, very potent. And even if you don't see a lot of Mon Mothmans on offense, you can just leave her on defense and she's going to cause some major problems. While there are counters to her, she's very, very hard for you to underpunch or try to punch down on, because at the end of the day, the mechanics that she has against the Sistine are just so good. I mean, this battle is pretty much proof of that. But yeah, that is going to be pretty much it for today, guys. Those are the 5 ways that you can waste your GAC Omicrons. You can not give Starkiller what he wants. You can ruin Jedi Anakin's temper by killing the Galactic Republic synergy in his team. You can leave your Zam slow so it just gets trampled by something that it would have been trampled by even if you didn't have the Omicron. You can mod your Wampa for damage even though it doesn't matter at all. And you can ignore Iden completely because, you don't want to beat Relic Mon Mothmas with Gear 11 characters. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me other ways that we can be wasting our Omicrons. And until the next time, stay awesome.